Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here as we get ready for our 6th race of the season. We're getting ready for knockout qualifying for our race here this weekend at Infineon. Now, I do want to just point out, just real quickly, this was not supposed to be race number 6, as a matter of fact. Infineon was supposed to be race number 7, but I made a mistake on the schedule. We were actually originally supposed to have our schedule be Daytona, then Rockingham, UK, then Las Vegas, then we were supposed to go to Atlanta for race number 4. And unfortunately, I did not consult my schedule, and we did not go to Atlanta for race number 4. We instead went to Bristol. And then we had Atlanta last week for race number 5. And so instead of going from a D-shaped mile-and-a-half racetrack to a D-shaped mile-and-a-half racetrack, which would be Texas, which was next on the schedule, I decided to move Texas to race number 7, Infineon here to race number 6. So everything's all kind of confused and all blood. So anyway, we are getting ready here for a road course race anyway. This should be a good one, and we are getting ready here now to find out how many drivers will transfer from Heat 1, how many will transfer from Heat 2. So be gone, little penny, show me who is going to be transferring in what. And it lands on tails again. Holy cow, the pennies like to land on tails. I assure you they're not weighted. I literally throw them up and they almost hit the ceiling. The ceiling is 7 feet high, so it's not like it's rigged at all, unless you could somehow rig a penny at a 7-foot throw. But anyway, that means that 3 drivers will be transferring from Heat number 1, 4 drivers will be transferring from Heat number 2. We're looking here at Nick Johnson in the Geico Chevrolet out of H. Scott Motorsports. Nick Johnson has yet to make a Hersheys Cup Series main event. Maybe he can do it here today. And of course, this is going to be a very interesting qualifying session in the fact that not really much of an opportunity to turn a draft lap because it's a road course. You don't really draft at a road course. So O'Neal Baldwin, Matthew Dalio, they've already laid down lap times, but they are not really official lap times. Those lap times only basically lap times set because their pit stalls were before the start-finish line. Nick Johnson's pit stall was after the start-finish line, so he is now on the clock for his first official lap time. Also want to let you guys know that, just to give you a heads up of what's going to be going on here in the next 2 races, the Almond Joy race and the Hersheys Cup Series race, we will be running those 2 races caution-free. So that's going to be an interesting factor into the possible outcome of both of those races. And we'll get to see now what the first official lap time of this heat will be. And look at that, we've only got 2 minutes left. It took about 3 minutes for Nick Johnson to make his way around to get to the green flag, and then he's only going to have about 1:45 to lay down a second lap, and the first official lap time laid down is a 1:15.414. O'Neal Baldwin, 1:15.453, and Matt Dalio, top of the leaderboard with a 1:15.3. Dalio made 1 start this season. That was back, if memory serves me correctly, at Bristol Dirt. Right now he is top of the leaderboard, and these drivers may get to put in only about 2 laps here in this knockout session, so you gotta make it early. Only drivers so far to hit the 115s, Dalio, Johnson, Baldwin, Kev Shearer, and Stephen Pollard III. Then you got 1:16 lap times by Carmika Jazin, Daniel Gilbert, Mitchell Carter. Someone got off track there a little bit, as Colin Denton jumped up to 5th place with a 1:15.943. Whoa, look right there, Matthew Dalio getting a little off track. And top of the leaderboard goes Garrett Sidner. He just crossed the line. And right behind him, Jordan Lopez also jumped up to 2nd. So right now, those 2 are in transfer positions. Sidner trying to make his first start of the season. I believe Jordan Lopez is trying to do the same. He was actually really close to transferring last week at Atlanta. And Elijah Gordon is now top of the leaderboard in the 29. So now it is Gordon, Sidner, and Lopez that would transfer right now, all with 1:15.2s. There's about a minute and 10 seconds remaining to allow drivers that are on a lap to be able to complete it. Will anybody be able to beat a 1:15.288, which is currently the transfer lap set down by third fastest Jordan Lopez? And there goes Colin Denton, up and into the third position with a 1:15.262. So right now, Denton is in, Lopez is out. Elijah Gordon in a good position right now with 35 seconds remaining. The likelihood that 3 drivers will beat his lap time pretty much in his favor, as Andrew Davis just jumped up into the top position. Now Colin Denton is out, and that puts Garrett Sidner on the bubble spot with 19 seconds to go. Elijah Gordon just beat his own lap time, 1:15.039, beating Andrew Davis's 1:15.082. Sidner's still sitting there with a 1:15.248, and hoping that the clock ticks down quickly as O'Neal Baldwin jumped up to 4th. And the session, I believe, is complete. Lap time's no longer counted, and that's going to do it. Elijah Gordon will make, I believe this is his second race of the season. Garrett Sidner will make his first race of the season, and Andrew Davis, the rookie, will make back-to-back races, as he had a top 10 run last week. I think it was a 7th place run at Atlanta, and he'll make the main event for the second straight week in that number 14 machine. So zeros will go on the clock. I'm pretty sure the session is now complete. It is indeed, and the 3 drivers that transfer will indeed confirm be Elijah Gordon, Andrew Davis, and Garrett Sidner. Drivers that'll miss out: Baldwin, Denton, Lopez, Johnson, Dalio, Salinas, Stephen Paul III. That was your top 10. On down through the remainder of the drivers. Chris Dollerton, of course, has made 3 starts this season, but he will not race here at Infineon. So that's going to do it here for the first heat. Let's get ready for the second heat, find out what other 4 drivers will be joining these 3 in the main event here this weekend in the Hersheys Cup Series at Infineon. So, as we prepare here for our second heat, 4 drivers will be transferring their way in this one. And like we saw back in the first heat, pretty much these drivers are going to have an opportunity to lay down 2, maybe at the most 3 laps to try and make the show. There is rookie Sean Henley. He'll be the first one off pit road in the Tweenix Racing Chevrolet. Now, Nick Johnson was the first one off pit road in the first session, and he was somewhere around 7th fastest in the speed charts. So we'll have to see if Henley, coming out early, if it'll give him an opportunity to run any better than that. I think that maybe it's a good strategy, though, to actually go out as soon as you can, because like I said, you get maybe at the most an opportunity at 3 laps around this racetrack, 3 timed laps, that is. And so if you're like Sean Henley and you come off pit road early and you get those 3 opportunities that lay down a fast lap time, that's 1 time more than you would get to try and get into the top 4 in speed. So, you know, to be perfectly honest, yeah, it does maybe wear your tires down. It does, you know, heat your tires up and not turn you as fast of lap times. But I think I would rather take the extra possible lap of qualifying time than just sit there and try and wait for the rubber to cool down to try and lay down a hot lap in 2 laps. The odds are more in your favor. As Sean Henley is now on the clock. I believe also just behind him is the 43 of Isaac Canepa. There he is. Canepa had a great run in the last race that he actually made, as did Daniel Olson. There's Olson in the 47. Right behind him is Johnny Gardner, who had a top 10 run last week at Atlanta in the number 96, trying to make back-to-back races. Zachary Stoltz coming off pit road. Jason Haywood had a great run last week in the 72 car, as there was a little contact right there between William Duncan and Cole Deaver. William Duncan, of course, showing that he may be a rookie, but he's not going to take any guff from anyone last week, as he dumped John Arndt on the front straightaway. Tripentacchio Vernio trying to make his second race of the season. There's James Qualls, our winner last week in the Almond Joy Series at Atlanta. But he's yet to make a Hersheys Cup Series race this season. Ryan George, Pichu London, they both made Hersheys Cup Series races, both raced in the Daytona 500. Jay Jefferson, that's Ryan George's teammate, yet to make his Hersheys Cup Series debut. John Cittadino, same for him. He hasn't made a Hersheys Cup Series race yet this season. Chelsea Bowles, last race she made was the Daytona 500, where she finished top 5. Cody Hagan, he's on a 2-race streak of making the main event. He raced at both Bristol Dirt and then last week at Atlanta. There's Elijah Gilbert, was so close to making the main event last week, but was unable to close the deal. DJ Curtis also yet to make his Hersheys Cup Series debut in a main event race. John Brunel, he made a race back, I think it was at Las Vegas. There's Sean Henley's teammate James McLeod, yet to make his first start of the season. Lyndon Wright, he hasn't made the race since the Daytona 500. Jonathan Zorland still looking to make his rookie debut in the Hersheys Cup Series. And it cycles us back here to Sean Henley. As things stand right now, Canepa, Hagan, Gardner, and Henley are the top 4 fastest on the racetrack as things stand. Canepa with a 1:14. Then Hagan, Gardner, and Henley with 1:15 zeros, 1s, and 2s. There's still a little bit of time here, and there are also going to be about 1 minute and 20 seconds left for somebody to be able to try and lay down a lap time as well for cool down as Henley jumps up to a 1:14.826. So Henley looking good right now to maybe make his rookie debut. I noticed John Cittadino was actually running fairly well. Let's find him. There he is. The 83, he was up to 6th. Well-known road course racer. Let's see what lap time he can lay down right here. Can he make it into the top 4? As coming off the final quarter to the front straightaway. Does his lap time improve? It does, up to 2nd position. See, you get to know these drivers and what they're capable of. And Cittadino, a well-known road course racer, up to 2nd position. So it looks like he's in a good spot to maybe make this race. Cody Hagan now falls to 3rd, and Sean Henley is now in the bubble spot in the 4th position. So right now, Canepa and Cittadino in a good spot as DJ Curtis jumped up to 5th. Almost dethroned Sean Henley from that 4th position. Someone's got to run a 1:14 to beat Sean Henley. See if there's anybody back here that maybe can do it. Maybe Daniel Olson. As Henley just jumped up back up to 2nd, that puts Cody Hagan in the bubble spot now. 35 seconds remaining. Olson doesn't even get up into the top 10. What about one of these two, maybe? Zachary Stoltz, Cittadino's teammate. Jason Haywood, possibly. See if they can lay down the lap time. Maybe Cole Deaver in the 66. Does anybody jump up into the top 4? Not from that group. William Duncan does not improve his lap. Neither does Trevin Tacuvernio. Cittadino jumps back up to 2nd with a 1:14.6. So I would think it's pretty much all but over. I think we got our 4 drivers that will be transferring, as Jay Jefferson was really close, but about 2/10 off of Henley's lap time. Henley ran at 1:14.7, Jay Jefferson a 1:14.9. So 2/10 going to separate him from making his rookie debut. And I think the session could very well be over, and it looks like it will be. Canepa, Hagan, Cittadino, and Henley who will be making this week's race at Infineon. Zeros going on the clock, and the session is over. That will do it, and it will indeed be those 4 drivers that will make the race. How about Cody Hagan? 3 races in a row he has qualified his way into. I believe this will be Isaac Canepa's 2nd start of the season. Cittadino makes his 1st start of the season, and Sean Henley will be making his rookie debut in the Hersheys Cup Series here at Infineon. Like I said, 2/10 separation between Henley and Jay Jefferson denies Jay Jefferson a chance at his rookie debut. DJ Curtis, Jonathan Zorland, Johnny Gardner, Cole Deaver, and William Duncan were your top 10. And then all the way down, those drivers also failing to make the race this week at Infineon. Up next here, we'll be having the Almond Joy Series first road course race of its season here at Infineon. And then after that, we cap it off at Infineon with the Hersheys Cup Series race. Both races will go caution free. There will be no full course yellow, so that should be very interesting. So I hope you all will tune in for those. We'll see you guys later on as you are continuing to watch the Infineon Race Weekend on the NNSCRA Sports Channel. Offline racing at its best.